I think I'm in love. Welcome to another episode of Erik Wait Whiskey Studies. In this video, I'm going to review of the Talisker The Distiller's Edition from 2019. An absolutely fantastic whiskey. But before I tell you more about the aromas and flavors and give you my rating, here are my notes. The Talisker's Distiller's Edition 2019 is from the Isle of Skye. It's 10 years old, distilled in 2009, bottled in 2019. It was double matured in Amoroso casks. It's bottled at 45.8% alcohol by volume and sells for about $100 in my neighborhood. Now you may wonder, what is an Amoroso cask? Never heard of an Amoroso cask. So you're probably familiar with sherry casks, Oloroso, Amontillado, Bellicantado, Fino, and Pedro Jimenez. Well, an Amoroso at its base is an Oloroso, but it has some added cream sherry. Cream sherry can have either Pedro Jimenez, PX, or Moscatel, which is our sweeter grapes and sweeter wines. So it's a little bit sweeter than a normal Oloroso. Now, the root meaning of Amoroso is love. Amore in Italian. Also the base meaning of the word Amarone, another wine from Italy. There is a castle, a winery castle in the Napa Valley called Castillo de Amoroso, and which means the castle of love. And this is an absolutely fantastic whiskey, and if you are like me and you try this, I think you too are going to find whiskey love, because this is absolutely superb and I would say very seductive. So on the nose, you get, I would say, sort of classic sherry notes, but they're more dense, more concentrated, and come across a little bit more candied. So fig, dates, raisins, but come across, I would say, more as like a sweet compote. There is a red fruit note, but it's more like a cherry or strawberry preserves or some sort of cherry candy. In fact, if you ever had chocolate with a cherry in the middle and then maybe there's a cherry liqueur on the inside, it's kind of like that. There's a hint of saltiness there. And just, I mean, it's very, 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 very subtle, a hint of peat. So this is a peated whiskey, but the peat is not being used, say, like Ardbeg, Laphroaig, Lagavulin, or a lot of the other Highland peated whiskeys that I've reviewed. Rather, it's been used as a subtle accent rather than as a main player or character. So it doesn't smack you up the face. In fact, if you were to taste this blind, you might almost notice the peat as an afterthought. You might go, you know what? I think I'm getting some peat. There's a little bit of smokiness there. So it's not a major player, but it is definitely there. All right, on the palate. Wow. So what I love about this whiskey is it starts off sweet up front, and then it goes dry towards the back. I really, really like that. So it's not just sweet upon sweet upon sweet. It has a really nice development. Up front, you get the fig, dates, raisins, but like I said before, almost as a compote. You get this strawberry preserves or chocolate-covered cherries in the middle of it. A little bit of that saltiness shows up on the back end just as it starts to become dry, transitioning out of the sweet. That saltiness shows up on the back end. And that is when there's just a whiff of subtle smoke and peat showing up on the back end, as well as some spice. Get a little bit of pepper, get a little bit of clove, a little bit of baking spices in there, almost like a cinnamon stick, not a sweet cinnamon, but like a cinnamon stick, and it finishes nice and dry. So it has this really fantastic evolution, real nice development, and it's good. I would say medium to medium plus length finish. There does seem to be a slight citrus note, but it's almost like a chocolate-covered orange candy. So everything is sort of candy up front. But there is a slight citrus note, but I'm going to put it more towards oranges. And sometimes around Christmas time, This is a little bit of old school. I don't like to do it these days. But you take an orange and you put cloves in it and use it as sort of like an air freshener. Well, you kind of get that combination there of cloves and oranges. Or if someone makes a Christmas punch and they put slices of oranges in the punch, and then there's cloves in there as well to add a little bit of citrus and spice to your punch, you get that character as well. Mouthfeel, sort of a medium viscosity, silky, silky, smooth. It's got nice depth, nice breadth. So it's got a lot going on there, and it's a whiskey that is thought provocative. It makes you sort of stop and think. It's a whiskey that if you're with a bunch of other people, it would easily, easily become the center of attention and the whole point of the conversation that you're having around the table. Some whiskeys, you know, it's the conversation you're having about sports, politics, religion, gardening, or anything else we want to talk about. Some whiskeys are so complex, they really grab your attention. This is not a whiskey that you're going to necessarily maybe watch television, watch a movie, and focus on that, because this is going to be a distraction from everything else. It is that captivating of a whiskey, and I absolutely love this whiskey. All right, so what I'm going to give it in terms of a score, I'm going to go 92 points. 92 points. What would it take to go higher? Longer finish. That's probably the only thing. If it had, I would say, it's sort of like a medium and then it kind of boop, drops. If it was a longer finish, particularly if it maintained some more fruit characters into the finish, I would go easy like 95 and up. But it's the shortness of the finish that keeps me at around 92. But the front, the middle, the development, complexity, the depth, texture, and everything else is just absolutely superb. Alrighty, if you like watching my videos, if you've not yet subscribed, I'm going to ask you to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when I go live. And if you are one of my Patreons, I want to thank you very much for supporting this channel. And if you could find a bottle of this, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. But there are also these gift cases you can get that have 3 bottles of Talisker in it. This has the 10-year-old, the Distiller's Edition, and the 57 North. Really, really great gift. Really nice sampler. They're 200 milliliter rather than a little 50 cl. So you can have more than 1 dram. You could share it with someone. Great as a gift or something to take with you on your travels. So it's another way to try not only this whiskey but 2 others along with it. Absolutely, I love this. Holidays, Christmas time. A lot of distillers produce these kind of bottlings because they're meant to be samplers or to give away, to buy as gifts. But after the holidays and they've not been sold, you can still pick them up. So another way to try this whiskey is to buy the sample pack. All right, until next time, cheers.